Welcome everybody. My name is Adriana Novoa. I'm part of the bargaining team for the union and also part of the grievance committee. And we call this meeting today to kind of let you know what we're doing. And particularly at this time, with a lot of people is very stressed for the changes that we are facing. So I'd like to introduce our agenda for today. We will have very short presentations by our members who will explain what we're doing. I will do a challenge about academic freedom. We have Joshua Raymond, who is from philosophy, who will explain how UFF defends us. Then we have Ed Mitchell, who we're very lucky to have on our team. And he is basically presenting the lawsuits that we have pending. Then Richard Manning, who is the chair of our bargaining team, will talk about PTR and tenure. And finally, we have the president of the union, Steve Lang, talk about our future. That will be followed by questions and answers. We try to save most of the time for that. So as I said, we will have a small presentation. I would like to start myself with presenting you an introduction, basically, which I think is the biggest challenge that we are facing right now. We have basically been in the process of losing academic freedom. And I would like to mention to you briefly what Florida intends to do and why we have these laws that have been disrupting our teaching and obviously our understanding of what is our role in education. Florida believes, and this is the arguments that they had kept in courts, that we are just employees and we are not different from any state employee. And that in universities, what we have is not academic freedom, but state speech. So basically their point is that the governor decides speech because he won the election. And he has the right to impose then a speech in the classroom, what should be said in the classroom, what are the things that we will not authorize to introduce in the classroom. The other point they claim is that expertise cannot trump the voice of Florida voters. Basically, the governor has that right because he was elected and that's the will of the people. So if the next administration has different ideas, the next administration will also be able to change according to the results of the election. So that is the legal argument that moves to the challenges that we are facing. So the things that we are facing now are two very powerful threats. The first one related to 266 is the content control. So basically that is related with state speech, what we can say, what we can teach, and the things that will be banned from our classes. They tried with HB7. Now this has been, we won lawsuits to get an injunction. And these are appeals. I think even the governor will say that they will lose that challenge. So that's the reason we have 266. So 266, that's exactly the same things that HB7, but only with different ways. They cannot teach anymore the viewpoints, that ban the viewpoints, because that was the reason for the injunction. So what they did is attack with the control of general education. They replaced the viewpoints by control of its entire field. So the entire fields that teach the banned viewpoints of HB7 are now banned from the gen ed. Like the first case is sociology, will come more. And the reason for that is that we have annual reviews of the whole gen ed curriculum. And I think we need to present it in July. And the board had the power to select what courses will approve or not. So this means that general core courses, which are the biggest part of the funding of departments, will be pressure to decide on issues of content and avoid those who they know, obviously, are under question by the state. And they have a very powerful enforcement because if you don't do what you're told to do, obviously you will lose funding, which is not the interest of any university. And the other part of this law that is devastating is the fact that it's not only a control over content, it's also control over faculty. So we have in this law very new things that emphasize that we don't have tenure. because we have now PTR. We have a procedure by which the board has more control over our faculty. They move also the process in which you hire and you work with personnel. That's obviously the president now, and the president has delegated through departments, but the next president might not do so. And the last one that has very much to do with what we do in the union is the decisions regarding faculty, including the areas of evaluation, promotions, tenure, discipline, or termination, might not be appealed beyond the level of a university president or designee. So basically, what we are facing is a plan to change the nature of higher education and the role of faculty in it. And with that, I finish my presentation, and I will move to our next speaker, Joshua Raymond. He's a professor of philosophy. Josh, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Adriana. My name is Joshua Raymond. I'm an associate professor of philosophy, and I'm the government relations representative for the UFF. I'd like to talk about how UFF defends us, specifically focusing on the contract and the kinds of protections that the contract allows us. We are the United Faculty of Florida, the chapter at USF, and so we are part of the larger United Faculty of Florida in the state of Florida, which is within the Florida Education Association. So we have the power, as long as we are certified as the union to represent the faculty of Florida, to negotiate the collective bargaining agreement, which governs all of our rights at USF, and they include things such as tenure protections and the particular procedures that tenure involves, due process, which is particularly important with regard to the enforcement of those requirements. That would include the grievance process internal to USF, and then the possibility of binding arbitration with a neutral arbitrator, which has been banned under certain state provisions. We see that in PTR. It governs assignment disputes, governs annual review, the grievance procedure. Our contract is unique in the state in banning furloughs. This is a particularly useful provision which was inserted a number of years ago by a member of the faculty at USF, because during the pandemic, the administration, facing something like what they declared as a $36 million hole while they were building a $36 million building, decided that they wanted to furlough faculty. They weren't able to do so. So that one provision in the contract alone arguably paid for the entire lifetime of union dues of 1% per year for any faculty members who would have been furloughed under that provision. The UFF is responsible for negotiations with the trustees of USF and which govern our pay and our working conditions. The stronger the union, the higher the union representation within USF, the higher the pay, the better the working conditions. Statistically, it's backed up. Simply to have unions in the state leads to 15% higher pay at institutions that are comparable. And within states that do have unions, those with unions in the same class make $11,000 more than faculty at non-unionized institutions. The higher the percentage of union members, likely the better the contracts that we get, the higher the pay raises. And we've seen that in a number of cases, such as at HCC in their previous negotiations. Very high percentage, so we need more people to join the union. And of course, we're facing what will be discussed of the decertification that will happen if we don't have 60% membership, and we currently have somewhere in the 30s. As well, we can talk about the protections within the contract, which include non-discrimination. All of these protections go away completely with no union contract. Academic freedom, which is particularly at issue in multiple state measures underway. Promotion and tenure, all of those protections go away with no contract. Reappointment and non-reappointment, layoff and reemployment, due process, intellectual property rights are covered by the contract and would go away to some degree without it. Conflicts of interest, outside activities. In each of these, the union represents us. The union provides representation in disciplinary matters within the university, provides for 2 free consultations with lawyers concerning personal legal matters. It provides $1 million in professional liability insurance in case you get sued and USF does not want to represent you, as has happened recently at USF. So that's all I have to say about how UFF defends us. Back to you, Adriana. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Josh. And again, we will present briefly about the issues that are discussed in the agenda. And please put if you have questions in the chat.